This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted today to be joined by top boxing writer Colin Hart. Colin, it's a pleasure to have you for your time today. And how is everything?
Everything's good. My voice I lost last week has come back now.
Very, very good to hear. We'll dive straight into things. We're coming off the back of a very, very big week in British boxing history. We saw Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois at Wembley. As that fight was unfolding, a lot of fans were shocked by the domination from Daniel Dubois. What was going through your mind as that fight was going on?
Well, I was as shocked as everybody else. I mean, I picked Joshua to win by knockout. I couldn't believe how novice-y he looked. For a man of his experience, hands down, chin in the air. I don't want to take anything away from Dubois, but Joshua was dreadful. And his punch resistance is not surprising that his punch resistance had gone when you keep your hands down and get hit by a man of near enough 18 stone who can really bang is not the cleverest thing to do. I don't think he ever recovered from the first knockdown, to be frank.
Fans have been giving a lot of criticism towards Ben Davison and his trainer in asking what was the game plan for that fight, because he just didn't seem right from the off. He came out, he got caught in the first 30 seconds and then the rest is history, I guess you could say. Is there any confusion from you on what the game plan was?
Well, I mean, I wasn't privy to what went on in the gym leading up to the fight or what the game plan was. All I know is if somebody comes out like Dubois, the way he did, as you say, in the first 30 seconds and clobbered him, whatever game plan you had went out the window because you don't know what the other guy's going to do. But, you know, he did fight like a novice. Now, whether that was down to Davison, I doubt that. I mean, you know, let's face it, Joshua's been around 11 years as a pro. I mean, it's not just down to Davison, it's down to him.
And then going forward, Anthony Joshua insists that he's going to fight on, he's going to fight again, and he's still searching to become a three-time heavyweight world champion. Do you see him being able to become a three-time heavyweight world champion?
I don't. I think he should do the sensible thing. Here's a man who's coming up to 36 years of age. According to the Sunday Times rich list, he's worth at least £175 million. He should spend the rest of his life living in luxury. I don't know what he'll do. He could work in all different ways. A very, very intelligent man. But he'll go on, like so many before him. He'll go on too long. You know, as I've pointed out, the classic example is Muhammad Ali. He should have retired after his fight with Frazier in Manila. He went on to have 9 more fights, which was ridiculous. And look how he ended up.
When we look at, after the 4th round, when AJ got dropped again, I believe, Ben Davison sat him down and told him to roll the dice. And some trainers have been a little bit confused by that, saying, what does he mean, roll the dice? Is that the right advice? What do you think of Ben Davison telling Anthony Joshua to roll the dice at the end of round 4?
You're getting beaten up, son. You've got one chance, is to land a big one. Go out and do it. And he tried, and then left himself open again to the right hand. I mean, he did hurt Dubois in that 5th round. I think, he hit him on the chin and whoa, he didn't wobble, but he got hurt. And I think that's what he must have meant. Who knows what that phrase means? I've never heard it before in the corner.
For Anthony Joshua now, a lot of fans are opening the interest again of a fight with Deontay Wilder. Obviously, we know how often that fight's tried to get made. What do you make of fans suggesting a fight between Joshua and Wilder?
Well, what I saw of Deontay Wilder in his last fight, he's completely shot to pieces. I mean, he was never great. All he had going for him was that tremendous power. But, you know, he was never a great heavyweight, but he had tremendous power. And he, you know, that's what got him where he was. I mean, he seems to have lost all interest in it anyway. And I mean, you know, you can never say never in boxing. I mean, I wouldn't want to see Joshua and Wilder. It's meaningless.
What do you feel Anthony Joshua has left in boxing? Do you feel why he might not become a 3-time heavyweight world champion? Do you feel that he still has something to offer?
Well, I suppose his fans would like to see him again. Look, hypothetically, Usyk beats Fury again. So now Fury and Joshua are without titles, and that fight has been the British public have looked forward to for years. who's to say it won't happen, even without a title, and it won't still be a big fight? You know, that's a possibility.
And for Daniel Dubois, obviously a statement performance, pure domination. Going forward for him now, a lot of names are getting suggested to him. Joseph Parker, Martin Bakole, the winner of Usyk versus Fury 2. Out of those names, which opponent stands out to you as the one you'd like to see Dubois in there with next?
Well, I think he's now the IBF world champion, and I think if Usyk does win in December against Fury, he's entitled to get a return with Usyk, with all the time, for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. I mean, let's face it, he was still in the fight with Usyk when he decided to go down on one knee and get himself out of there in round 9, and he very nearly won the fight. I mean, I thought it was a low blow, but it was marginal. So he deserves another crack at Usyk.
What do you make of a rematch clause being put into place for Anthony Joshua as the challenger going into the fight? We never really see a challenger have a rematch clause.
Well, according to Frank Warren, there was no rematch clause.
But what about Eddie Hearn coming out there and saying that there is?
Well, who do you believe? Eddie says there was a rematch clause. Frank Warren, who is Dubois' promoter, says there wasn't. Toss a coin.
Who do you believe more?
Oh, come on. You want me to call one of them a liar?
Not ideally.
Well, that's what you're asking me to do.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we'll move away from that. Let's talk about why we're here today. Beterbiev versus Bivol press conference. How do you see that fight playing out?
Well, as a boxing writer, I can't wait. It's a classic on paper. Here we've got two unbeaten fighters. I've described this as the light heavyweight version of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. It's of that level. Here we've got Beterbiev won every one of his 22 fights by knockout against a very, very clever boxer in Bivol who has beaten Canelo. He's got all the makings of a classic, and I can't wait.
If I was to ask you for a prediction, who do you believe comes out on top on the night?
Beterbiev is 39 years of age, and I don't say this in a derogatory sense. He is a beast once he gets in that ring, and I fancy him to beat Bivol, but have to go the distance for the first time in his career to do it.
So you don't believe that he stops him, you believe it's a points job?
I think Bivol's too clever to be knocked out.
Well, Colin, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and I look forward to catching up with you again soon. Thank you.
Pleasure. Cheers.